All right, my friends, welcome to episode 75 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry, and over there is Anthony the Dev.
Yo.
How's it going, man?
It's going okay.
Yeah?
A lot of games.
Oh my god, lots of games. It's a good first world problem to have.
It really is.
Oh man, and you're 1 week closer to being down here to play some games in person.
It's true. Less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah. We'll get our Switch on. We'll maybe do some Jackbox Party Pack with some friends. Yeah, should be good.
Is Jackbox the best introduction to new people?
Maybe just because you're sitting around laughing about things. I think it can be. It's a nice icebreaker. I think that's why I was thinking about it. But I haven't set anything in stone yet, so we'll figure out if we want to do that or not.
No, it's fine. I just remember your last Jackbox in categories that came up.
Oh yeah, that was actually specifically made for our friends, so we wouldn't do that one. That would be a little bit of a inside joke kind of thing that wouldn't be that great for new people. So I've got a cold, so I'll probably be coughing somewhat throughout this episode. I apologize. I just can't stop getting sick. My wife and I keep passing sickness back and forth.
Your teachers, it happens.
I know, and she has a compromised immune system.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, that's fun. So for this episode 75, we are going to discuss our video game book club selection, which was Orwell, and then I will pick the new one for March. Then we will have some news about Xbox. Believe it or not, we actually have Xbox news for once, and a bunch of Nintendo news. And then we will talk about the games that we have been playing, and we're kind of playing the same games, same game, but not the Switch one that I'm playing.
No.
Quick shout out to Amazon Logistics. You suck. But a positive to Amazon for when the package did not show up when it said it was going to. I called them, and as soon as I called and said my package isn't here, it's supposed to be release day delivery, they said, well, we'll give you a month of Prime for free. And I said, I don't want that. I want you to call the driver, ask him where he is, and tell him he needs to bring my package to me right now. And that's what they did, and the driver showed up. And I think that if I didn't call, he wouldn't have come because he was just done for the night.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Amazon Logistics, when they do that, it's like privately hired couriers.
That's right. That's who it is. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy's like, whatever.
Yeah, no, he was done
he
for the
night.
night.
I work till 8. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything else.
Yeah, so 10 minutes after Amazon called, he showed up at my house, and it was clear that he had been home and drove to my house. So I'm glad that Amazon called him, and that's possible, but I wish Amazon would start using the UPS or USPS, more reliable carriers.
Yeah.
So but it's first world problems. If I didn't get my Switch on Friday, I would have gotten it on Saturday or something.
I still want to know what's kind of going on, because a lot of people have been getting issues getting Switches. And through Amazon, but I've also known people through Best Buy that are getting totally screwed.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's, I know 2 people that pre-ordered through Best Buy, and they're not getting theirs until sometime next week.
Wow.
And they pre-ordered it back in January when it first went up. So there's some weird internal anecdotal stuff that I'm hearing from people up here that Nintendo didn't get consoles to Amazon until Saturday.
Wow.
Or even Sunday. We're talking not Saturday. Sorry. We're on Sunday.
Yeah, wait.
Sorry.
You mean Thursday?
Thursday. Wednesday night and Thursday.
That would make sense why my package didn't ship until late Thursday.
Pretty sure there's something there. These consoles weren't just sitting around in a warehouse for Amazon or some of these big box places.
Right.
Which would be par for the course because for whatever reason Nintendo and Amazon hate each other.
Yeah,
this is a long-running feud.
Right, I remember that.
I don't know why.
They used to not carry Nintendo hardware, right? And then they decided to.
No, Nintendo. I couldn't know if Nintendo just wouldn't sell to them or they wouldn't. I don't know. I have never figured out what the issue is.
My guess is it's something to do with Nintendo because they never do things like everyone else does.
Yeah, I mean, Sony and Microsoft just sell to Amazon. They're here's a stock of consoles. Enjoy.
Right. Well, I guess I'm lucky that I got it then. I'm pretty happy.
You did. I know a number of people up here who ordered through Amazon up in the Seattle area, and they're not getting theirs until middle of the week.
Wow.
just because. Same thing. Although theirs never shipped. Theirs was never on a truck.
Okay. Yeah, mine was.
It never went into out of shipping soon.
Right. Yeah, mine was shipping.
Yours was a different experience.
Yeah, mine was shipping soon or shipping now for 8 hours, and then it finally shipped, and the next day it was just out for delivery all day, and it was past 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock, and then 9:10. That's when I called Amazon. But
yeah, I can't believe they got it to your door.
I can't believe it either, to be honest. I mean, every time that they've shipped with Amazon Logistics, something has happened. Every time, it's been weird. Like that's not hyperbole.
Well, there's not really accountability.
No,
so.
I guess not.
Because it's a private carrier, they're like, whatever.
Well, what's usually happened is so it's 2 or 3 times when I've shipped stuff to my brother up in, where we're from.
Yeah.
And he won't have it. And I'll say, well, Amazon says it was delivered. He says it's not here. And then it's marked as delivered, and then it'll show up the next day.
Weird.
So they're marking it saying, oh, I delivered it, and then they just do it the next day because they know they're supposed to deliver it on time. So I think they mark it as delivered even though it's not.
That's why I didn't get Horizon one day early.
What happened with that? That was the post
So it was out. It was yeah, because we did record it last week, and I'm like, oh, it's shipped. It's in Kent, Washington, which is a town up here. I'm like, that's crazy. It actually got to the post office Monday morning. It got sorted, and it was out. I don't know what happened. Basically, it said couldn't be delivered. Notice left. The mail delivery. I mean, it's just our normal mail. They did not come to our door. My wife was home the entire day. No one came to our door. There was no notice left in the mailbox or anywhere.
That's so weird.
They just said no. We can't deliver. I'm like, what? My wife went to the post office the next day. She had to go out there anyway. She was mailing stuff, and she's like, hey, is there a package here for our address? And they're like, oh yeah. Is your mailbox full or something? She's like, no. There was nothing in our mailbox. We checked the mail.
So
Saturday. So whatever. The mail dude was lazy and didn't feel like coming down the driveway. I don't know. But it's a game. It could have fit in our mailbox.
Right.
I truly don't know what happened.
That's so weird. Well, and our address is weird because, and you'll see when you come, if you follow Google Maps or whatever, the address is in our alleyway. So you're just facing a bunch of garages. You have to come around the corner, walk around the corner to drop it off at our porch or our front door. So the driver actually called me and said, where are you? How do I give you this box? So I just ran out and met him.
You're like, I'm just coming to you.
Yeah, I just hold still. Don't move. I want that box real bad.
Yes, you do.
Oh, man. So just real quick, Switch impressions before we get into all the other stuff. It's in my hands right now. It is as small as people were saying. The screen is plenty big enough to play. It's the best. This is the best mobile, the handheld console that I've ever played.
Yeah.
I've been playing probably 90% handheld. I put Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild up on the TV for about half an hour, and it was fine. I didn't notice any frame rate hitches. And then my wife and I played Snipper Clips, which I'll talk about later, and that was fine. Except our living room's about 20 feet long, and we're on one end, and the TV and the console's at the other end. And we were having connectivity issues with the Joy-Cons, not just the left one, but the right one too. So being 20 feet away from the console, and I guess half covering up the Joy-Con sideways with our hands, made it so the Bluetooth wasn't strong enough to get to the console, so it would cut in and out. For a 25-minute play session, it cut out for maybe 5 seconds, so it really wasn't. It wasn't that long, but it was weird. My wife was like, "What's happening here? What is this?" So
that's weird.
It was a little weird. Sideways Joy-Cons, I don't know whose idea that was. I guess in a pinch that works. You want to play 2-player and there's absolutely no other way you can possibly do it. But sideways Joy-Con is a joke. It's not comfortable. We did it fine with Snipper Clips. We got used to it, but the strap is in the way, and it's just your hand is cramped. It's just because they didn't want to make a bigger screen is why the Joy-Cons are this big.
It's not ideal.
Not at all. I am absolutely getting a Pro controller as soon as possible. But the dog grip for the controller is totally fine. It's not just serviceable. It actually is pretty comfortable. So
nice. That's good.
Yeah. Battery lasts about 3 hours with Zelda.
Zelda. That makes sense.
Low screen brightness and Wi-Fi off, so about 3 hours, which is good enough. Yeah. So that's my impressions of the Switch. It's definitely everything that I thought it would be. I mean, there are no trophies. I don't know if that's coming later or they're just gonna keep saying that gamers don't want that. Yeah, and there's a couple things in the eShop. So.
All right, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Interested to try it out when I'm down there.
Yeah. I think you'll like
it. Get an idea. I mean, I've seen some other people, some video impressions online, the Joy-Con connectivity stuff.
Yeah.
Other people complaining, saying that the buttons really don't have much travel.
They don't.
Like, they're really sensitive.
Yeah, they don't. There's not much give.
Yeah. Which was interesting. I was kind of interested to try that.
It's not as squishy as a 3DS.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're fine. I just think that the Pro Controller, if you're going to play on a TV, that's the way to go. But I'm playing handheld most of the time, so I'm kind of stuck with these controllers. They're fine.
Or you can kickstand it. Use the Pro Controller.
That's true, but I feel like when you kickstand it, like the screen is further away from your face than you are when you're holding it, and it just seems a little too small. But
you're not on a plane.
What's that?
You're not on a plane.
Well, you know what the weird thing about the plane thing is? When you are in airplane mode, you can't use the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because you're... But I think, you just wouldn't be doing that during takeoff and landing.
I thought you couldn't have it. I thought you had to have it on airplane mode the whole time.
No, not anymore.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
No, you can. You only need to be in airplane. Only need to have your devices off or in airplane mode for takeoff and landing.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter. Honestly, that doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's just give the little theater there that somehow cell phone and wireless signals would have problems with avionics equipment.
Right.
That one's been disproven multiple times, but whatever.
The FFA wants their FAA, not FAA.
I guess. I don't know. I'm sure at one point there was something like, we were worried about this. And
better be safe
than
sorry, probably.
Yeah. But either way, you could totally play it. Just turn the Bluetooth on once you're in the air. And I don't think I'd really want to be playing it during takeoff and landing like that.
Not with that kickstand. That kickstand is flimsy.
I wonder what the point... I mean, I get the point of it. I wonder if it was just a secondary... Because that's where what's behind it? Isn't there a slot?
It's a slot for the HD card, or the SD card.
That's really what I wonder, if they're just we're going to put the SD card slot here anyway. We got to have a little door or something to open.
Why don't we just also make it a kickstand?
Yeah.
I mean, it's serviceable, I guess, but you would want to have a different solution for sure if you were really going to use it too much. But it's well made. It feels...
Does it get hot?
No, it has not gotten hot at all. And I played Zelda 2 nights ago or last night, maybe last night, for about 2.5 hours, and it was just barely warm to the touch.
Wow.
But I have the screen brightness all the way down, and I've heard other people complaining about scratch screen, dead pixels, blue screen of death, really, really hot. No problems. It is a really nice machine, and I'm looking forward to even just playing Shovel Knight, which I have on other consoles. I bought it again. It is just... It's so weird because there's no D-pad, right? It's that button thing, which you get used to real fast. It doesn't feel too bad, but actually I end up using the analog for the platforming, which I don't usually like to do because it has such tight action. It doesn't swing too widely. It really is good for platforming.
Oh, nice.
Which is the biggest surprise for me. So I think that this is a good setup. It really is.
Well, I look forward to trying it.
Yeah,
and probably eventually getting my own.
Yeah,
later in the year.
Yeah, it'll be there in the fall for you. But hopefully you'll take my Wii U and play some Zelda.
Oh, I plan on it.
Before then.
I pretty much have to.
Man, I'm
excited.
It's worth it. It's worth everything people are saying. It's lived up to the expectations, I guess. So speaking of expectations, you and I had expectations about finishing a game this month, and we did. It was Orwell. It was your choice. So do you want to introduce us to this game?
Yeah.
Remind the audience what this game's about and stuff.
Orwell is, I guess, episodic, even though you get it now and you get all 5 chapters. Game where you play as a investigator using the Orwell system to track basically citizens in a fictional country of Bonton, trying to discover basically a bomb has gone off, terrorist act, and you're snooping on people through their social media, their cell phone calls, browser histories, and then just general websites, forming pictures and of who these different people are while you try to solve what's actually going on. So kind of, I don't know, I would say it's a visual novel in some ways.
Yeah.
And also somewhat of deduction as well.
Yeah, and I found that the deduction piece a little, it could have been stronger. I think.
It could have been, definitely. There was definitely, I can get that, a point in one of the chapters where I was like, do I know what choice I should be making here?
Right.
Is it arbitrary? Do I just make a choice? Or can I actually, like, go back and read through different articles and know which of these facts is true?
Yeah, and I guess for the audience, every time that we discuss our video game book club, it's full spoilers so that we can discuss this. So if you're really interested in playing this game, hopefully we won't give everything away, but we will talk about it pretty much, assuming that we're going to say most things that happened. Are you talking about the one where the what's her name, Nina? Are you talking about the Nina thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
There was the Nina, so that was chapter 3? 3.
Yeah.
So chapter 2, there's the bomb at mall.
Right.
And you have to make the choice on, is it the mall or is it this other place?
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through, I'm like, how do I know for sure which one of these it is?
Huh.
Like, before I upload it, I'm just, reading through it. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make that choice of, was it the dude planning it or was it Nina planning it?
Right.
And you don't know for sure. So you just have to make a choice.
I felt like I was reasonably confident it was the mall. Did you choose the mall too?
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So I felt reasonably, I wasn't really confused at that part. I felt pretty sure it was the mall, and I don't really remember why. That was a while ago I played that. But it ended up being right. It was the mall. So
I felt like it was just a choice. I'm like, I was digging for more, concrete information.
Yeah, and it wasn't there.
There was no concrete information. You just had to make a guess.
Right.
And what your hunch was. And I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Honestly, at that point, also, I felt like I didn't fully, for whatever reason, fully have a connection of whenever I send one of these conflicted information along to my boss,
mm-hmm.
that's it. No more, done.
Right. Yeah, and that. So that mechanic, basically, you're talking about the yellow information, right?
Yeah, the yellow conflicted information.
Yeah.
So you have to make a choice on which one is. You don't get to send both. You got to make a choice.
Well, and the first time that happened to me, I thought, okay, well, I'll send you the 2 pieces of conflicting information, and then you sort out which one you think I don't know, average it or whatever. Nope, you just choose one or the other. And that was, wasn't clear to me. And there were points too where I felt like the game was trying to lead me toward what choice. Like if I had left things I didn't want to send it in, and it kind of just waited around until I had sorted through all the information.
Some of it you had to.
Yeah, right, exactly.
There were definitely pieces that I didn't send up, especially on chapter 3
mm-hmm.
with Nina.
Uh-huh.
That last bit of it.
Right.
So what happened with Nina and you?
So I sent everything. Because at that point I was kind of in the, I'm going to send everything I have, and because I don't know, I felt like I had to, because then I thought there were story triggers in those things, and if I didn't, the story wouldn't progress. which I've learned later that wasn't quite true. But I told them that Nina had a gun. I told them that Nina was running out the back window, and then they shot and killed her.
Yeah, I didn't say. How did this work? Did you figure out the bus route?
The bus route?
Oh, okay. So you must have done it sooner than I did. I let information go by. This actually starts happening in real time.
Oh.
So if you like, I didn't send information because she had a son. So
Yep.
I was like, okay, I want to. If anything's going to happen, I want it to happen outside of her being with her kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, let's hold off. Like, all right, I know she has a gun, so I sent that she had a gun. And then I just let it play out a bit and see what was going on while she was talking to Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
And so this starts happening in real time. And if you let it go, she gets her son, and then she's asking Juliet for a safe house, someplace to go.
To hide him.
To hide. And she gives her a clue on where a bus number.
Hmm.
And so it kind of gives you a pause in real time. But she uses a clue, and if you look at, like, Hanson's albums,
mm-hmm.
Or is it Hanson? Hancock?
Oh, yeah, Hancock's the music album.
His alias, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an album. She used an album and a track, and that's the bus route number, whatever number that track was.
Wow, I did not get to that part.
Yeah, you could actually do that. Like, I just let it play out, and then she's on the bus, and eventually it gets stopped. I sent that she was taking a bus.
Huh.
And so they just did. She was trying to leave. What happened to her? There was a security check leaving the town, leaving the city.
Uh-huh.
And she was caught there and shot and killed.
Okay, so she was still shot and killed.
But there is a way to make her escape, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if you don't send any information,
right,
she can just escape.
Yeah, and it was weird the way that you're sorting through the information and basically determining if people live or die or go to jail or whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of got into the part where I felt like this is my job. I need to send this information, and it made me think about what the people who are actually doing that in real life are probably thinking. Like some of them are probably good people and just feel like they're just trying to do a job and do it thoroughly. And you don't really know. There was stuff where I'd send information, and then if I had waited a little bit, the new information would have canceled that out and made me realize what was actually happening.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when you get to, for the audience, when you get to episode 5, throughout the whole game, you're sending as much information as possible. But by the time you get to 5, there's a cap. You have like a time limit, and there's only 20 pieces.
You can only send 20 pieces.
Right. And so I had sent 19, and by the time I got to 19, I realized, oh my God, it's not Hancock, it's Juliet. Like, I realized it at the last second, and I didn't have enough information to send anything else to make that clear. So then the end game started after that. So it was weird for me to figure it out at the very last second and not have enough time to backtrack, basically.
Yeah. I feel like the game is very successful in that regard. Because I definitely started, like, I played this all in one sitting last night.
That's amazing.
I stayed up till, like, 1. I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
It starts off slow. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was basically the third chapter when I was really focused on Nina. And I was starting to, like, weirdly start when I had those thoughts of, like, okay, she has a kid. How do I protect the kid?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what my mind went to.
Right.
It's like, what information do I send up so that she's taken but the kid is safe? It was and by the end of it, I was like, wow, that's kind of weird that I'm thinking through it this way.
Yeah.
Like, these are all fictional stories. It doesn't even make any sense, but I'm approaching it from a very different direction that I'm sure other people have.
And you're approaching it where you're treating it as though it's a real situation happening.
Yeah.
And what would you do in real life?
Yeah.
For me, I played, I think I played the first one like basically a month ago. No, not a month ago. No, maybe about a month ago.
Yeah, it was like, I remember.
Yeah, it was like immediately after you told me it was going to be it. And then I played episodes 2 and 3 like 2 weeks later. I played them both in a row. And then today I did 4 and 5. And 4 and 5 were like super engaging. Like I thought they were the best ones from the whole. Let me rephrase that. I thought 4 was the best one of the whole series. I thought it was.
I agree. 4 was intense.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd use too. It was really intense. 5 was just a different format, and it was kind of confusing when Juliet did the reveal and just a ton of exposition there. And then, do I take down Orwell or do I implicate
Delacroix?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
there's or initiate. You could
right. Yeah, it's either initiate.
You basically have a choice. It just didn't feel great at the end.
It didn't. No, and I took down Orwell, so
I didn't implicate myself. Took down Delacroix.
Yeah, I took down.
So Delacroix is resigned, and then Orwell is shuttered.
That's right. I did that, and then I was found. The investigator was found. At the end, it showed me. So. Yeah, where you have to choose a piece of information about yourself.
Yeah,
that was the final thing. Yeah. So for me overall, it was not quite what I expected it to be. In terms of how the game was played, there was a lot more. It was text heavy. It was more text heavy than I thought it would be. I thought I would kind of get more. I thought it'd be cutscenes or some sort of interaction with the people as characters, but it kind of makes sense that it wasn't, because you're not even in the nation. You're far removed. You're an outsider investigating, so it makes sense why you wouldn't really be that close to them. And I had some problems with the way that the information was presented, and the idea was presented to me that I had to what information to send and how to send it. I think a second playthrough I would do a lot better at playing it how I would really like to play it, because I felt like the first 3 episodes I was basically sending everything because I thought I had to.
Yeah.
And that was my mistake.
And I'm wondering if that's also intended from a game. I think there is that point where you realize at some point when you're playing it, oh, I'm in control here.
Right. Yeah, maybe that's right, because
I am. Well, I have a boss. We should say the game is structured in the way from what Orwell is, the machine. You have a boss, but they can only see the information that you send. They are not the ones looking at all information.
And I wonder how that game would play out if you didn't send anything.
I think you have to send some stuff.
Okay.
Because I do believe there are triggers so that you can progress through the story.
Yeah, and that's what I kept finding too.
But I bet there's minimal stuff. You could just be I'm sure there's a minimum amount that you could send and still make it through, and I bet it'd be a totally different experience.
Yeah, and there was. I guess that's the one flaw that I had, is that I didn't know which ones were the triggers and which ones weren't for those first 3, and it was just. Yeah. I don't know, and I think that's how it would be in real life too, where you're just presented with a mountain of information and you've got to make sense of it somehow in this abstract way. But at the end, where you're trying to figure out, or you're trying to they want you to implicate the guy, the immigrant who was kind of at the center of most of it, the teacher.
Oh, Abraham.
Yeah, Abraham.
Or Aaron Gunther.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
So it has that conflicting piece of information where he's basically saying to the initiate, you want me to make a group and we're going to kill people and we're going to do this and that, and it just had you take that out of context where it sounded like he was saying we're going to make a group and kill people.
Yeah.
That was just super obvious. Basically, do you frame this guy and make it all, tie it all up with a neat bow or not? So
it's true.
That was a little bit of a, I don't know, ham-fisted kind of piece there.
Yeah.
But I think that's
towards the end of it, it got a little bit ham-fisted. The ending was a little bit.
I agree.
It tried to tie itself up very quickly.
Yes, it did.
I would actually also say the presentation, though, even though being text heavy, was pretty well done.
Yeah, no, it looked pretty.
It was a very slick interface.
It was easy to
way
navigate.
More polished than I thought it would. It needed. It was holy crap.
The issue that I had with some of the interface was the listener tab, where you listen to the emails or the phone calls or the chat.
Yeah.
It just. I read super fast, and it was just so slow. And I finally realized that I could start a call or whatever, and then go tab over somewhere else and read news or whatever.
Oh, and then come back to the
call. And then come back, and it had cycled through, then I could read it. But it was just a little, people don't read this slowly.
Yeah.
Especially in a game where you're making people read this much, people who are playing this game are readers. So come on.
Yeah,
It's almost like
I agree.
It's almost like Oxenfree where they slow you down the walking to make the game last longer. Like I don't know if
I get the reasoning why, especially with like the texting and the phone,
to make it like real life.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like, people are responding all the time. But I'm like, God, I don't want to wait. But there's also plenty of times on the texting where I'm like, they're typing. God damn it, finish typing. Finish typing. Mm-hmm. Can't be that long.
Yeah. I think overall, though, I enjoyed my time with it. We're getting pretty lucky having a bunch of games that we've liked. I don't know how you come down on this one.
I think I come down on overall liking it. Mm-hmm. Again, I think it's flawed. I think Polygon weirdly gave it out like a 9 out of 10. I would not give it a 9 out of 10.
They did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I should go check it again. They reviewed it, and they gave it a really high. And I'm like, I don't think I'd give it there. It's probably a 7, 6, 7.
I would give it like a 6.5, 7. Yeah, absolutely.
Somewhere in there. I mean, it's good. It's better than average. It has a compelling story overall.
I'll be damned, yeah. Polygon 90.
It has a compelling, as a player, it makes you feel compelled and pushes you into probably not the most comfortable position.
Right.
Which is always good. This is not a game for people that just want to sit down and play a game. This is one that you play and kind of think about while you're playing it and afterwards.
Right. Yeah, this is GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. Polygon a 9 out of 10. There's a website called.
It's a little high.
I think it's a little high
on it.
There's a GameStar outlet gave it 8.5 out of 10 and said, if you're willing to read a lot, Orwell can send shivers down your spine when working as a profiler. That's pretty accurate.
I would say only the end. Let me think here. Is it 3? When's Nina? Is that 3 or 4?
When she dies?
Yeah.
3.
3. So it's chapters 3 and 4. I'd give more towards an 8 or a 9.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a higher mark for 4 and 5 because it just. I sat down today. I told my wife.
I would say 5 is lower to me.
Than 4?
It just doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because 5 just is. There are parts of 5 that are interesting, but the ending just didn't sit right. It just felt too abrupt and. It
was certainly rushed.
And like a weird, like your choice on what you're doing, I was like, it just felt odd compared to what had come before. It just didn't sit right with me.
No, I agree. When it was, I sat down, I was going to play chapter 4 and then come back for chapter 5 later before the podcast. And I told my wife it'd be, probably about an hour to do the one episode. Came down 2 hours later. She's like, what happened? I was like, well, I just kept going because 4 was so good. I just wanted to start 5, and then 5 was just
I would say
a little
3
different.
I really liked because of the ending for me. That whole Nina segment, like, it sounds like yours, where you were sending everything, ended quickly.
It ended very quickly. Yeah.
Mine did not.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I had like 5 or 6 minutes
of
like on kind of the edge of my seat.
Oh, wow.
Like, looking at a phone conversation and text coming in.
Yeah.
Like going like, oh God, is this working? What should I do? Oh, there's something to send. Should I send that? Should I not? Like flipping back over to the reader and looking at websites and back because you're trying to piece together clues from the chat to something on a website. So that hit a high point for me at the end there, like waiting.
Yeah, I guess I kind of cheated myself out a little bit because it ended like she went out the window and then she was dead. That was it. It lasted like a minute.
I had a few more. I had probably had another 5 minutes.
Did she sneak out the window and then go to the bus on yours?
She snuck out the window.
Okay.
And then went and picked up her kid.
Huh.
Which, if you had a conversation earlier, I didn't send the piece of information that said where she would be picking up her son. There was a comment earlier in the chapter that you could send and say, oh, her son will be at this point at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't send that information. I basically tried not to send any information about her son.
Speaking as a father.
Kind of, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I just saw the train wreck coming, so. trying to see how
Yeah.
to not
Right.
screw up that kid's life even more. Fictional, fake kid. But yeah, so overall, thumbs up. I would recommend giving a try for something that's just different. It's not your typical game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really enjoying about this book club is we're kind of these small experiences, almost like short stories, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to novels, because we're playing a lot of novels too.
Yes.
So it's good to get these different flavors, and it's a game that is totally different than even the episodic games that you're used to playing.
Totally.
It's well worth a look for people who are interested in kind of like the deep state, the surveillance state, and how that kind of plays out. It's definitely thought provoking, even though at times it was a little frustrating.
Totally agree.
So for March, it's my turn to choose a
Yep.
game, and this is a game that I don't think you have yet, but it's free on PlayStation, so you can go get it.
Okay.
And if you're a listener, you end up with a PlayStation, you can get it as well. I don't know, maybe you already have this game. Maybe you've already played it. But I chose this game, and I'll tell you which games I didn't choose. I was going to choose Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, because we both have that.
Okay.
But it's basically a walking simulator with the person who walks really, really slowly. And I
Yep.
thought that would frustrate both of us. So no thanks.
Okay.
And then the finalist was Titan Souls, and I decided to choose this other game because you and I are both playing really, really long games, and I wanted to respect the fact that March is a month for really long games. So I wanted to choose a game that we could play and enjoy but not take up too much time. So the game that I'm choosing is A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, right.
Which is that side-scrolling beat-em-up.
Yeah.
It takes place 30 years before 15. Features a retro-style inspired graphics centered around a fast-paced combat system. Basically, you play as Regis, and it's just a side-scrolling beat-em-up, and it's gotten mediocre reviews, like 7s. But the campaign lasts for 1.5 hours, so I figured that wouldn't detract too much from Zelda or Horizon this month. But it would be something fun that we could talk about next month.
Or Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, exactly, yeah. So this is something that you could sit down. I mean, obviously you would, but I would too, just one sitting and knock it out.
Palette cleanser.
Yeah, absolutely right. So it's A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15. It's free on PlayStation. And just for the audience, real quick, the story is: restless before bed, young Noctis asks his father, King Regis, to tell him a fairy tale full of fantasy and adventure instead of just another generic bedtime story. Regis begins with a peaceful day being disrupted when monsters raid the royal capital, Insomnia. Young Regis, joined by Wescom, starts his adventure from the royal capital. Eventually, they're joined by Cid and Claris, where they travel to the plains of Duskai to discover a mysterious cave where their enemy resides. Blah, blah, blah. So that's what we're playing.
All right.
Yeah.
I can do that.
It could be good or it could be really bad.
I doubt it's really bad. But it could just be just straight up mediocre.
Yeah. But it's the right price. It was the pre-order bonus for people who pre-ordered Final Fantasy 15. I don't know if you... Oh, I don't think you did, actually. So...
I don't know. I mean...
You didn't have it before then, I don't think.
That's a good question.
But if you don't, it's free up there. You haven't played it, though, I hope.
I have not played it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
So then we will get right into the news then, now that we're done with the Video Game Book Club. But if you're listening and want to follow along with us, you can check out that game as well. So the news, we're going to start with Microsoft. They have this basically Netflix for games. It's $9.99 a month, and you get access to basically 100 different Xbox One and Xbox 360 games.
Yep.
And that it's not like PS Now where you stream it; you actually just download it to your system.
Yeah, these are just full games.
Yeah.
These aren't streaming. This is, and it says, it's not like straight up new games though. Like right when they become available.
No. But Phil Spencer on Xbox, what was it called? Podcast Unlocked on IGN said that he's hoping that it's a platform where people will actually launch their new games, especially episodic games, like a Netflix kind of thing, where every month you get a new episode, and you can only play it if you have the subscription, basically.
I see.
So it's intriguing.
It's cool. I mean, I get what they're trying to do, and I kind of feel like them putting this news out like this week was just hoping to have
in the
some
news
relevance.
cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept thinking the same thing because with the Switch and Sony with Horizon, like Xbox must be feeling like we have nothing.
Yeah, they're kind of sitting behind at the moment.
Waiting for the Scorpio to launch in the fall.
Yeah, kind of.
But I heard this, and I think it's good value, $10 a month instead of buying. It's $120 a year to basically play all these games. Nintendo, like I wish Nintendo would do this for their back catalog. I would pay $10 a month to play it.
Nintendo should do this.
They absolutely
Nintendo
should.
would win so hard if they're just like, yeah, $10 virtual console.
NES through GameCube, go.
Yep, go.
That would be great. And to be fair,
sell so much hardware just for people to do that.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we don't know what they're going to do, and I don't know if they even know. I think the more that I play the Switch and more that I see the things around the Switch, the more I'm convinced this was going to be a fall release, and they pushed it up for whatever reason, either to I don't know, sell to the hardcore gamers so that there's enough consoles in the fall for like the Christmas rush and things like that, or I don't know, to get it out in the spring where there's not a lot of competition. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a little half baked, which is for a launch, not the console. Yeah. The console works pretty well. So I don't know. But anyway, Xbox has this Game Pass and people are pretty excited about it. I won't probably buy into it because I have enough to play on that I own. I don't really need to pay a subscription. Most of the games that I saw that were listed, I kind of own most of them, so wasn't.
It's true. I mean, I don't have an Xbox One, so it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah,
but it's an interesting concept. If it catches on, maybe we'll see more of it on the other platforms.
Yeah, they said that if it goes well, they're going to bring it to Windows 10 in the spring.
I can see that.
So, yeah. That would help you because you could play some Xbox One games like that you couldn't normally, I guess. I can't think of one you'd want to play, though. Halo 5, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, so.
I'm done with Halo.
Yeah. You found the next news here about Twitch.
This is interesting. So, starting in spring as well, Twitch is going to start selling games through its streams. So there's been some more Q&A on this. So basically, we could be watching a streamer. Let's say right now what's a good PC game that's being streamed a ton?
Good question. Nier is coming out.
Nier is coming out. Things like, let's say it is Nier. You're watching someone stream Nier. You could, and let's say Amazon is selling. Maybe they'll do this for physical too. But underneath the streamer window, probably where it's showing what they're playing, there's going to be a buy now button. Click that. I assume if you have Amazon One Click on, because Amazon owns Twitch,
right.
For people that don't know, it will just buy it and ship it to you. One click. And the developer publisher gets 70%. Amazon gets 25%. The streamer gets 5%.
That's a really good way for the streamer to earn revenue, but I feel like that could be gamed pretty easily. And what I mean by that is that I feel like streamers would then stream the games that are the most popular, like the ones that are.
They already do that anyway. But then there's the counter argument of if you're streaming the most popular thing, you are competing against the most popular streamers.
Right.
So why not stream something that's not being streamed a ton? That there might be a niche audience that wants to see that game. So
when I thought through that, and I agree with you, so what if that thing is a game that sells retail for $20? So they're 5% of $20 as opposed to 5% of 60.
Yeah. I mean, it might change things. It might decide what streamers want to do.
Yeah.
I just feel like you can even see it now, like the small to medium level streamers that are doing this, they have a hard time competing when they're like right now trying to stream Zelda or Horizon.
Right.
Because the big guys are in there streaming it and all the views go there as opposed to. But then I was seeing like last week, there was like a bunch of streamers. They were getting a relatively large amount of an audience streaming older Zelda games because the interest is there and people want them. But in some of those cases, you may not would be able to buy them anyway. So Amazon's like, so right. I mean, this is going to be an interesting thing. What it does, they didn't say if everyone could do it necessarily, because I know as a streamer you can't like even take subscriptions until you reach a certain viewership.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a gate. So they might gate it, so you have to have generated enough of an audience before you can say, I want to monetize this.
But you bring up an interesting point. Like, what if there are people who say, I mean, so if they're all trying to get the money from this subscription service, playing retro games isn't bringing in that money, so I won't.
It's not bringing in the
retro anymore. That kind of sucks because those are the streams that I enjoy watching. The older.
We'll see what it changes.
Yeah.
This is the first thing I've seen that actually, in some ways, I feel could challenge Steam. Just as a completely new way to push people into like
buying through that platform.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
Twitch is probably the biggest marketing thing for new games now.
Right. Well, and that ties into to Amazon Prime. So Amazon Prime members have free Twitch Prime.
Yep.
It's just Amazon pushing even harder into that space.
Yeah, I feel like this is part of Amazon's true game at challenging Steam.
Yeah. Well, it seems like one of the only ways that they can.
And they're approaching it a much different way than just saying, here's a storefront.
Well, and it's using the power of Amazon. Like you said, you can. Okay, so the one click get the physical copy. I wonder if this is going to tie into like Steam sale kind of stuff on Amazon, where they have digital keys and they'll start doing sales like Amazon does. Or Steam does, I mean.
I own a couple games through Amazon, digital key PC.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's a pain in the ass and it's such a weird system, but I own them, and I have to download them through Amazon.
Oh, that's weird, because I got a key from Amazon that I just authenticated through Steam.
You can do that, but there actually was a point in time, I can't remember what game it is. I have a couple, and it's not Steam keys. I download it through Amazon.
Huh. Okay.
So, who knows? Maybe they won't deal with that backend system. Maybe they'll just sell Steam keys and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was just kind of out of the blue, and I definitely feel like this is going to change some of the PC market space a bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to change the way people stream, and that's the part that I'm interested in watching. I don't really watch Twitch that much. I watch YouTube videos all the time, which...
There's specific streamers that I'll watch from time to time. They do games that I want to watch, but...
Yeah.
Let's see. I watched a couple Breath of the Wild streams.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and this is the thing. I'm like, I just want to see someone stream. I just want to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
When it's being someone free playing it. And,
right.
Watch some Horizon streams just again right before, because some people got the game over the weekend, and so there's a bunch of streams for Horizon, like 100,000 people streaming, watching Horizon videos. So it's like, I'll pop in. I want to see some weird stuff there. But that's kind of what I use Twitch for, is quickly seeing. Yeah, previewing. I just want to see someone playing it, kind of commentating while they're playing, and just kind of get an idea of what a game's like. And then there's one other streamer that I watch on Fridays, because he's playing through all the Final Fantasies, 1 through 13.
Oh, that's right. You were mentioning that last time.
Yep, Final Fantasy Friday, Lobos Jr. And I think he finished 2 finally. He's on 3 now.
Wow.
2 took forever. 2 took a long time. Comparison, like 1 took 2 Fridays.
Oh, wow.
Like 2 took probably a month of like 3, 4, 4 or 5. It was a lot. I was shocked at how long that was taking him. I have a feeling they're going to start taking him longer and longer. They only get longer. So it's that kind of streams that I like to watch.
I guess that's what I was going to ask you. I feel like I mean, okay, so Final Fantasy 15 was like 42 hours for me to finish it, and I didn't do a ton of side content. Is that the longest one, or there were not
No,
counting
actually,
MMOs?
15 was shorter.
Oh, okay.
Although I'm pretty sure you could beat like the other ones quicker if you. I mean, people speedrun them all the time.
Yeah.
So it's really about how much you would want to go into side content.
Right. I guess I did a fair amount, but I mean, I got the trophy for having 40 side quests, and I got upwards towards 60. So I thought I would platinum that game, but the story was nonsense, so I kind of lost interest.
There's a lot of other games to play right now. It's hard to go back.
Right. I agree. Speaking of going back, let's do the opposite and go forward. There's news from GDC from Nintendo. Basically, Reggie was just announcing, hey guys, we have Unreal Engine 4 on Switch. Please put your games on Switch. Like, it's easy for you guys. Just do it.
I'm pretty sure he came out during Epic's.
He did. It was during Epic.
Yeah. He was like, come on, guys. Come on, bring it here.
This is it. Let's do it. I understand nobody wanting to put their stuff launched on... Okay, I understand people not wanting to launch on the 3rd on Switch because it's a Zelda machine and everyone's playing Zelda. Like,
yeah,
wait a week or wait 2 weeks to make it more of a splash. That said, when I bought my Switch, I bought 3 games. I bought Zelda, the Treasure Trove for Shovel Knight, and then I bought Snipper Clips. So
yeah,
there were probably 10 games up on the eShop, mostly old games, but Fast Remix was up there. I Am Setsuna was up there, and a couple others. So.
Yeah, and those games are probably going to make some good money.
They absolutely are, yeah. I mean...
I'm curious to see how many console Switches actually have been sold, like, at launch. I haven't seen anything that, like, from, like, Kotaku, Polygon, IGN. Any of them haven't stated any numbers that I've seen. But...
Right. I just know that Nintendo said we have 2 million worldwide for launch. And everything.
I'm pretty sure they sold out.
So. Exactly. That's what makes me think there were 2 million. But there was stuff on Reddit like, here's a stack of 10 in Pomona at the Target, come get them. And then within an hour they were gone. So.
There was a picture for the Amazon brick and mortar store here in Seattle, because Amazon decided to have a physical store for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think it was Larry Herb. He sent the picture. And,
Switches?
Yeah, and there was so many. There was seriously probably like 24 behind the counter.
Wow.
At this Amazon brick and mortar store, and it had Breath of the Wild, the controller, and the Pro controller, and Switch consoles. He posted that like on Friday mid-afternoon. I'm pretty sure they were all gone.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, actually, my friend called there Saturday morning. And they still could go in and get one if they wanted to, but they were pretty sure that they were going to be out within the morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was still random. Like, some places just had a ton.
Yeah, and those are the reports that I was reading about on the internet, where random places had like 5, and other places where there were more people who, there were none, and it was a little weird how the inventory got doled out.
Yeah.
As you were saying earlier. But anyway, so Reggie wants people to port their games over. It's got Unreal 4 and Unity, and I think there are going to be a lot of indie games on the Switch, like we saw with that Nindies showcase.
Oh yeah, I think there's going to be a ton.
Yeah.
With the Unreal thing, there's still somewhat of the issue of, let's take a game like they showed off at GDC, Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
A tech demo of it because it runs on Unreal 4. So the Gearbox showed off, it's all Unreal 4 and it looks like Borderlands. I have a hard time seeing that running well on a Switch, looking at the hardware.
Right.
So I don't think your super big Unreal 4 games are going to be coming over there. Like, you got to be... Unfortunately, the processor on the Switch is not...
It couldn't keep up.
It could not keep up.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Right, absolutely.
So you're going to have to be very... It's not like every Unreal 4 dev and team can just bring their game over. It's going to be kind of pick and choose on, all right, well, how many polys is it per... Like, are you trying to push? Yeah, things like that.
I guess, as opposed to Wii U, maybe it's because I have other consoles or whatever. Like, I would be perfectly fine if the Switch was a AAA Nintendo plus indies platform. That would be just fine for me. That screen is beautiful. Like, it looks really, really nice. Like, Shovel Knight looked better on that than...
I can see it. I mean, it's not that big of a screen, and it has pretty high pixel density, right. So it's going to look pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah.
But there's some more Switch news that is not fun. This first one's stupid. It makes me think this has got to change, and this wasn't ready for launch. But your save data is stuck in your Switch, internal. You cannot get it onto the external or the extra SD card. You can't. There's no cloud storage for your save files. So if you lose your Switch, you lose your save files.
Yeah, and if they said at this time.
At this time.
Yeah, I think I'll present this as a development thing. It is a bits sitting in storage.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to do is make the stupid utility that transfers those ones and zeros onto another memory.
Right.
Like, this isn't rocket science. This isn't brand new. So, yeah, this is something that's just missing.
So why is it missing? Why do you think it's missing?
I don't know.
Okay. Because that seems like a no-brainer.
To me, it seems like, I'm like, how could this be missing? You have to have debug tools, dev tools that let people do this for Q&A. And if they don't, then holy hell, Q&A in this thing would be a pain in the ass. While you're game on it, you're like, let's, I guess... Because one thing that Q&A typically runs like on bigger games is you'd have a lot of different like generic save files. So let's say you're in Zelda, you could be loading specific save files. So you could be at specific places in the game.
To test different things.
Yeah, so you can get back to like, oh, we have a bug here. Okay, load that save file. Let's try this.
Right.
And you want to be able to push those onto the system and take them off the system. Back and forth, like in a dev environment.
Right.
So this has to be working in some form, or God, Q&A of like Breath of the Wild would have been a pain in the ass thing.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. They have the dev tool. Just
why is it not? I don't know.
Because it wasn't ready for March. They weren't ready for March. That's the only thing I could. They wanted.
Why don't they have Virtual Console?
Right. Because they weren't ready for March.
Yeah.
My thought is that
they wanted to be ready for Zelda.
That's exactly right. My thought was that they were going to launch Zelda in March. It was going to be a Wii U game, and they're like, this is going to help us sell our new console. Like, we can't put it on Switch 6 months later because then it's not going to be that exciting. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other piece of Nintendo news, which kind of pisses me off, basically some people are reporting dead pixels, like, when you get a new TV or an iPhone, whatever.
It happens. I have monitors. Yep.
Yeah, so you return it, right?
Yep.
So Nintendo is saying small numbers of stuck or dead pixels are a characteristic of LCD screens. These are normal and should not be considered a defect.
I would disagree.
Yeah, so would I.
If
very
they're not
strongly.
going away, like, I have had monitors where, like, weirdly you can massage the pixel and sometimes it can work.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get back, but
you mean like
if it's not working after like a few days and you're like, nope, you should probably
that's a defect.
Normal place would just replace it.
That's right.
Yep, we'll take it. Like,
so Nintendo's official Q&A is saying it's not a defect.
I would still call them and give them crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they would probably still take it back. So
you send it back to I'd send it back to Amazon. Like, this isn't working, so take it back. So I just want to throw it in there because there's just, Nintendo like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back or whatever. So that's the news. Now we're into our favorite part, which is what we've been playing, and you've been playing a beautiful game.
Yes. I have been playing since Tuesday, Horizon.
Almost nonstop except for that 3.5 hour detour into Orwell.
22 hours.
Holy shit. Damn.
It's really good.
It is so good. I agree. Tell us about. I don't know. Like, give us a story of your adventure.
So my adventure, it starts the same as your adventure. You start as young girl Aloy. Which is a weird tutorial. Like, I get it was kind of slow to start. Yes. In that thing, but
really
it also really invested me in the character.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the tutorial, I was like, okay, I get it. like I know who this character is far better now than just dropping me in as an adult.
Right.
So, okay. I get that. I'm now at least invested in the character. So, let's see. You get through the tutorial part, and then I just start wandering in the first area.
Mm-hmm.
Do all the side quests I can. Go find... What did I do? Randomly just hunting machines, because why not? I'm trying to think. Like, I did everything I possibly could before moving the story forward there.
Did you go back to the original ruins that you were in?
I did.
Okay. Did you?
Got it. There's a collectible. There's a couple collectibles there.
Did you get the power cell?
I did.
Did you then put it where it needed to go?
I've put 2 where that needs to go.
Oh, nice.
So I've done 2.
Okay.
And then you're like, oh, that lets me get into the room with the awesomeness.
Right.
And I can look at it.
Oh no, you can't.
But there's another door on the other side where you need 3 more power cells to actually unlock it.
Oh my god. I went down there and I put
one
in.
Like, oh.
I put one in there. I was like, oh, I just need 1 more. I need to figure out where that's at. But there's 3 more on top of that.
There's 3 more. You need 5 total.
I was wondering why it was level.
I didn't look up where they were. But I looked up, like, okay, when would you actually be able to get the final, the 5th one?
Mm-hmm.
It's near the end of the game.
Oh, okay.
So you're not gonna get that one early.
Damn.
But it does give you a regenerating shield
when you actually get it.
Oh
wow. Okay.
You basically, it sounds like you become nigh indestructible.
Wow. Okay. You get like
not completely. You can still probably be stupid and die, but you don't take falling damage anymore, anything like that.
That makes sense why it's locked behind 5 power cells.
Yes, it's a thing. So I mean, I progressed my way through there. I did the first long neck, which was incredible. Mm-hmm. Climbing those things is awesome. I've done a couple more now.
Yeah.
Still is really cool, and it's not. I would say you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get to a new area. I'm just gonna have to do this thing, and it's gonna be routine. It's not routine. They mix it up a bit. They're not just in like safe areas where you can get up on them.
Right.
So you have to. Both the 2, I did 2 of other ones today, and it took me. Each one of those probably took me about a half an hour longer than I thought it was going to take.
Just to get to the top of the long neck?
Not because before I could even get on the long neck, because there's just another. You're like, oh, okay. I can't just jump onto this thing. I actually have to take care of some stuff before I try to get up here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just fair warning, not as repetitive as I thought it was going to be.
Cool.
It's not like towers in Assassin's Creed.
Right. Well, I think there are only 4 long necks in the game or something like that.
There's 5. I'm
pretty
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I've done 3, and I think there's 2 more on the map that I haven't done. I did 1 cauldron.
Oh yeah.
Thumbs up there. That's how you unlock the ability to override machines, and to increase the types of machines you can override.
Okay, because I have
cauldrons.
I can override right now, and I have.
You can override some.
Some, right.
I can override more now.
Oh, okay. I just never found the cauldron yet.
Like sawtooths. The big, cat-like ones.
Right.
Big cat-like ones. I can override those now.
And ride them?
No.
Oh, darn.
Not everything's right, but they will attack other things.
That's cool.
Fighting machines, still not boring. Not at all. I do not feel like a god.
Yeah.
Even, they can fuck you up badly if you go in unprepared. That's where it reminds me of The Witcher in some ways.
Right.
You're like, oh, it's just a trivial thing. Once you get confident and cocky, yeah, you get screwed.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm still sometimes the battles are still pretty intense.
How do you feel about close quarter combat?
Don't do it. Although I do it sometimes. And it locks on weirdly.
Yeah, I guess what I meant by that was the camera.
The camera is all over the place, but I've actually now let's say you're trying to do a heavy attack,
Mm-hmm.
which is typically, it will weirdly try to do it towards the enemy that's like attacked you or closest to you.
Yeah.
So I've kind of just stopped worrying about the camera as much.
Okay. I just had a hard time with the like when they would like close on me, and I would start trying to either shoot arrows or attack with my stick. It's just I couldn't see what I was attacking. Like it was the camera would,
just roll,
roll away. Basically make more distance between me and the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not really supposed to stay in close combat with them.
Right.
That's not the place to be.
Right. Well, especially as a ranger, basically.
Yeah. No. They hurt really bad, and your heavy attacks and stuff really don't even do that much damage to the bigger guys.
Right.
They don't knock them over or anything like the small ones. So, yeah, using your arrows, having the different weapons equipped, using the different ammo types is kind of the main thing.
I've had a lot of fun with the Tripcaster.
Yep.
I love that thing.
I do. That's how I mean when you need to be prepared going into battles.
Yeah. Just
randomly getting into fight, not as good as like setting up tripwires or different mines and then luring things into them.
Yeah, that has been my favorite part of that game so far, where I see kind of like the choke points and how the action would funnel, and then I set everything up and I run around and then like just push them towards it, and then things start blowing up.
Yeah, no, that's been really good. The game's gorgeous for anyone who hasn't seen it. Like,
best looking game I've seen.
Yeah, it still just amazes me.
And I guess I have HDR. I have the benefit of HDR.
I kind of want to see that when I'm down there.
Yeah.
Because I have no clue. I'm like, what does this game look like in HDR?
Yeah.
So
it's pretty. I mean, it's just deeper blacks and brighter highlights, you know?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else that really stands out. Like, the story is progressing along. I'm enjoying that. I've made it to the major city.
Okay. Oh, Meridian?
Meridian. Yeah. I just got there today.
Oh, cool. Wow. After 22 hours?
Yeah.
Wow. That's like set up at like after hour 4. Cool.
You could go there sooner.
Oh, okay.
You
were playing around.
Of course. There's so many things on the map to find and look at.
Speaking of map, did you make the mistake of buying those purple maps?
Yeah. What about them?
It just covers the map in these huge circles that kind of, I wish I could hide them.
If you zoom out far enough, they go away.
Yeah.
I want those circles. That's what I'm trying to find. I want all of those.
I've kind of turned to liking empty maps, so I don't know. It's a little distracting for me, but it's nice to know where the things are at for the trophies. And
I want all the collectibles.
Yeah.
Because you also trade them in once you're in Meridian.
Right.
For special items and weapons and things like that.
Well, I know last week we talked about how finding out it was Colorado might be a spoiler or not, and then you get like to the first vantage point and you're like, oh, it's Colorado Springs. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like, okay, this wasn't a spoiler. This is like hour 4.
Oh, it's a stadium. Oh, it's this. We've done a bunch of the vantage points so far.
Yeah.
And they're all very specific places. You're like, no.
Well, they are fun to get to. Like it took me it was like I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of like puzzling out how to get to this specific ledge. And I had to like get on the long neck and then go from it, jump over to this building, and then take this zip line across and climb up this weird kind of puzzle platforming kind of area.
Yeah.
Very smartly laid out.
I would agree. Beyond that, I'm having a great time with it. It's a Guerrilla knocked it out of the park, really.
Absolutely.
It's really a weird it's not a weird combination. It reminds me a lot of Witcher 3 and Assassin's Creed kind of mixed together.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I can really say about it. I like Aloy as the main character. She's awesome. Especially as you go farther, Meridian. God, she just gives some of the most snarkiest answers. It's awesome.
Awesome. That's great. No, I love having, obviously I love having a redheaded protagonist, but also a female. Like every chance I get, I'll play as a female. It's just great to see.
And she's not underwritten or anything.
No. And it just,
that's my thing. I could care less if it's male or female as long as they're well written.
Yeah.
And she's well written. I feel connected to her. I feel like her dialogue is good. The voice acting is good. Because I just want my main character someone I can actually like get behind and care about. And they've nailed it.
And I think that Guerrilla's done a pretty unique thing. Not super unique, but it's a matriarchal society, which is something I haven't seen that much in video games.
No, that's true. That and the Nora are matriarchal.
Right. And that's right.
Once you get out of that, no, the Karja are not.
Right.
They have a typical divine king sort of thing. Although I don't know if it necessarily has to be patriarchy. Mm-hmm. They haven't really talked about that at all on the Karja. Just saying that like there's the ordained of the sun, blah blah blah.
Yeah. So do you find that the side quest density is like The Witcher?
No, it's smaller.
Oh, okay.
It's that. Well, it depends on what you consider a side quest. Like, there's definitely like bigger side quests of like they kind of tell their own story.
Uh-huh.
Then but they split them up on that. Like, there's errands, which really exactly what it sounds like. Go out, do this thing, bring it back, be done.
Right.
Side quests have multiple parts, or tend to. They're bigger, but there's fewer of them. And then there's the hunting grounds. And what else? There's the corrupted zones, not the outcasts, the bandit camps as well.
Right.
So I mean, I think it's definitely less than Witcher 3. Like, I don't think the world is as big as Witcher 3 in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like I have less to do. And I definitely tell you, Witcher 3 has so much to do, but at a certain point, I just didn't care anymore.
You wanted to be done. Yeah.
It kind of outstays its welcome on the, like, how many treasure hunts are there? Oh, I don't want to go deal with that.
Well, and that's something that when I did my first playthrough of Witcher 3, I probably did 40% of the side quests, and in Skellige, I didn't do any of them. I just
Skellige, I just was done. Yeah. I was like,
so that I can see where that would wear thin.
So, I mean, I just saw someone talk about it on Reddit today where they finished Horizon with 100%, and they were at like 85 hours.
For Horizon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is where I'd expect it to be.
Yeah.
Based on how much I didn't check my percentage, but I bet I'm around like 30% at 22 hours.
Well, and I finished The Witcher I think I put like 95 hours into that game and did not.
Oh yeah, The Witcher is a ridiculous amount of side quest and content.
Right. Not even counting the DLC. Expansions, I guess.
It's just a ridiculous amount.
Yeah. No, Horizon's beautiful. Horizon is everything I thought it would be. It's really, really fun. And it came out 4 days before Breath of the Wild, so I played it for 4 days.
There you go.
Oh, jeez. But you're also you played Torment.
So before, this was basically Monday night.
Okay.
So it unlocked a little bit early before midnight, and so I played it then and a few hours on Tuesday before I was able to play Horizon.
Right.
The final version. It's everything that I said before. It's weird. It is so strange. It's text heavy. When you're talking about games as short stories and novels, this one is literally a novel.
Right. You're reading the whole thing where from what I understand it, the pixel art's kind of like, I don't know. It's beautiful in its own way, but the point is the reading more than the art. Yeah. Yeah.
The rendered backgrounds and everything are strange and gorgeous and like brightly colored and everything, but there's so much reading there, and I will eventually get back to that game because I also feel like it's going to take me like 40 plus hours to get through, and then I can really dig into it. But it's bizarre. Terminology is weird. I knew going into it that this was going to be a strange game, and put a few hours into it, and I had Horizon, and I will play Horizon until Mass Effect.
Right.
And then I will play Mass Effect until Zelda.
What a Q1, Q2.
I think I'll just put Wii U. Hopefully I can find a Wii U Zelda.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can you find one?
Not right now.
No. Nowhere.
You can find. You can buy it digitally, but.
Oh yeah, but
But a physical copy doesn't seem to be in existence at the moment.
Well, if I see one and you haven't got one, I'll pick it up and then we can
Okay.
figure that out later. Because it'd be nice to have a physical copy of that, because I figure that would be a pretty rare one eventually.
Yeah. So you talked about your Horizon stuff. Anything else for the 4 days that you were playing?
Just that it sucked me in really quickly. I put about 7 hours into it in those 4 days, which I didn't intend to. I seem to have like a growing tolerance for longer play sessions, which is something that's never been true. Like, when we started this podcast, I would talk about my gaming ADD all the time, and that seems to be switching.
Maybe just the games
themselves.
Yeah,
maybe. Finding good ones.
Horizon's really good at... I played that in longer sessions than I was expecting.
Right.
Just because there was always something more to... It's really good about having... There's always something more to do.
Right.
Like, once you finish one thing, you open the map and like, well, I'm close to this. I should just go up there and get that. And you get that. And
there's another thing.
Yeah, there's always another thing. So
one, it's like the vantage point, or there's a metal flower to get. Like, I would go in that circle and look around for half an hour and be perfectly happy doing that, because it just looks beautiful, and there's other things to find, and you get sidetracked, and
you at the base form hunt machines.
Yeah,
you're like,
right.
oh, I need some more parts. It's cool. Like, never. I avoid hunting machines I'm not prepared for, but
yeah,
I've never found that like I enjoy the hunting machines well enough that I'm like, oh, there's a herd of those things over there. I should go get some blaze. I should go get some wire. Maybe they'll drop other things that I can sell for scraps, or I'll need for my crafting, or the whole thing. Like,
well, and there's so many ways to approach attacking, even just like a watcher, for example. Like, you can like be very precise and hit it in the eye, or you can set up the tripwires, or you can tie it down, or you can throw the bombs, or you can use the arrows, or you can melee it, or you can silent strike it, or like I did one time, I ran up and showed my spear its butthole, which was really weird. just
how it worked.
My wife was sitting there. She's like, "Did you just did
it's
that
a machine? It doesn't have a butthole.
Did that just happen?" It's like, yeah, that's what happened.
It's a machine.
Well, after I put my spear in its butt, it definitely had a hole in its butt. So.
It's true. You created the butthole.
I did. The thing that surprised me was the story about the trial, where I thought it was going the typical Hollywood story or whatever. We're like, shh. I don't really want to spoil it for people who haven't played it yet, but I thought it was going towards one ending, and then it just didn't.
Switched.
It totally switched. And I was like, oh my god, I'm in. This is great. That's when I was really excited about where the story is going to go. It's definitely seems like a story that is going to be really good. Maybe not the best story ever, but really good.
Yeah.
And people had said that the story was serviceable, but they really liked the gameplay. But I feel like the story is maybe the thing for me right now. But I did have to put it away because I got my Switch on Friday and started playing Breath of the Wild. And I loved Horizon. Like, just the 4 hours that I played with it was really, really good. Zelda is far and away better. It is way better. And Horizon is amazing. Like, it's unbelievable, this game. And I really wish that I had played more of Ocarina of Time. I played a little bit on the 3DS, and my cousin and I played when it first launched. But I think the geography, I don't know this for a fact, but I think the geography of where you are is reminiscent of Ocarina of Time, or I don't know what you know about what Link you are in this game and about the years. Do you know anything?
Well, I mean, just the trailer. That's 100 years in the future, like that.
Right.
But I don't know what 100 years in the past, what time frame that actually is.
Right, and I don't either. But I feel like there's speculation about it being like Ocarina of Time. Like, people are talking about the geography of the area and how it connects to Ocarina of Time, and I don't know that well enough.
Yeah.
But where you start, there are landmarks and things that are familiar. And I just went to... I got off the Great Plateau and went just paraglided toward some shrine that I had found. And I ended up in another place that was very familiar to me from playing several Zelda games. And I'm thinking, this isn't just like sketches of previous Zeldas or just like, thematically tied. I think I'm in a different Zelda, but just 100 years in the future. and I don't know which one it is, and I don't know, it just feels like that to me, and I could be completely wrong, but the thing about this game is the shrines. I've done, on the Great Plateau a couple shrines, and I just completed one before I got on the podcast tonight, and they are, I think you've heard, smaller than temples and kind of more focused, and then
just like one puzzle room, right?
Yeah,
usually.
Exactly. And the one I just beat tonight was a pretty involved one. It probably took me, I think I died like 10 times. And I won't even tell you that, the mechanics of it, because I don't want to spoil any of it. But when I got to the end, I did something that was totally surprising, and just made me laugh, and then I beat it, and it was just such a great feeling. Like, it was awesome. And then I ran outside the shrine to go to some other place to do something I'm not going to tell you about. And along the way, I found a bunch of those guardian things and got killed like 20 times just trying to run across this field. God, I just trying to think of things to say that doesn't spoil it.
Okay.
The cooking, you know about the cooking. So the cooking is the way that it lays out the Great Plateau is really like a smart tutorial, even though it's not holding your hand at all. Like I'm leaving like the grass area, and I see there's like a snowy area that I need to go to one of the shrines to do something I need to do. And along the way, there's just a bunch of peppers on the ground, and then a cook pot. And without the game telling you, you realize that you have to cook those peppers in order to have cold resistance, basically. And I feel in previous Zeldas, you would have like Navi or Fi.
Yeah, someone would tell you what. I mean, I've seen some gameplay impressions, and they basically say like this game just lets you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're just like figure it out.
I could
reminding you people of the original Zelda, like 1986 Zelda,
right?
Of just like, yep, you wake up, the game starts. What are you gonna do? Nothing's pointing you to go anywhere specific,
right? No, and it's just
figure it out, play, explore.
And the thing that I've said a lot on this podcast is I really don't like games where I'm alone. I really like interacting with people or having a party. Like Final Fantasy 15, for all its faults, like I really liked having my 3 bros with me.
Yeah.
This game, because I can literally do anything, I have such control. I don't really feel alone. I feel really excited to explore. I've never played a game where, I played a lot of games where the idea is to explore. But this one is really like explore every single little nook and cranny you want to. Like there's almost no limits really.
Yeah. And would this be true? What I've heard is that the game just says yes to you.
It does.
You're just like, I want to do this. And they're like, sure.
Yep.
It actually worked. Holy crap.
There's
which would actually be my contrast to Horizon. Because like when you're talking, you have to find specific ways to climb up things in Horizon.
Right.
Like all open world games for the most part, they might hide it a bit more, but there's like, oh, you can't jump here, you can't do that.
Right.
Like, it's very much constrained. Definitely sounds like Zelda is not that.
That's not at all. You can Link is a fucking gecko. Link
you just climb everywhere.
Everything except for the inside of shrines. They've made the walls so you can't climb or whatever. I think it would just break the puzzles basically.
Yeah.
But nice. No, you can do anything. Like it was just this really exciting part where I realized that there was a MacGuffin on top of a mountain, and if I got to the MacGuffin, I got this smaller MacGuffin, and I had just enough pepper to get to the top of this mountain, and it was the way that I got to the top, like I knew if I followed the path, I wouldn't make it in time. Like I would die of cold. So then I just made my alternate path that wasn't where the game was funneling me toward, but it still worked, and I got there with like 3 seconds to spare. It was really cool. It was a really cool feeling. And then there was like 2 other things I wanted to say real quick. One, I was fighting these bokoblins, and they were coming at me, and as they were coming at me, they were coming through like this kind of like brush and bushes or whatever. And I shot a fire arrow, and I missed him, but I hit his club. And when I hit his club lit on fire. But because he was coming through the bushes, the club lit on fire, and then lit all the bushes on fire, and then burned him and everyone else alive, which was not the intended outcome for me.
But it worked.
It totally worked. And then another one, I spent like half an hour. My wife was watching me. She just kept laughing. Every time I died, she would just laugh. But these bokoblins were throwing rocks at me, and I couldn't quite figure out how to like solve this puzzle. And I kept getting hit by rocks, and I just got really pissed. And they just threw a rock at me, and I was trying to shoot him with an arrow. And the gyro I forgot the gyro move. Like you can aim with the right stick, or you can just move the switch, and the gyro moves it. And somehow it moved at the right, and I let go at the right time, and I just shot the rock out of the air with the arrow, and the rock went back and hit him in the head. It was so weird. And it's just things like that, like just random. There's a surprise around every corner, and you don't quite mean to do something, but something like the laws of physics say that it would work out, and then it actually does. And then the way that I'm going, I'm close to Hyrule Castle right now. Like I could go fight Ganon right now.
Oh, interesting.
I would die, but I could do it. I think
you could just go there.
Yeah, I mean, I could walk toward the castle. I'm sure there would be things along the way that would kill me before I got there, but there are things that I've already passed that are way stronger than me that I just duck and hide. And I just wish I could tell you more about the things that I did, but I don't even want to spoil those things for you.
Yeah,
even like the simple mechanics, I don't want to spoil for you.
I mean, I'll be down there. I want to see it. If it's cool, I'll just start. Does it allow you to have multiple?
It does. So I want you to start from the beginning. Like I'll just make a profile for you, and you just start from the beginning. Like I can sit there and watch you play for hours. It's so good.
I'm super excited. Like I cannot believe the reviews this game's been getting. Like I expected it to be. I always expect a Zelda game to be decent. Like Nintendo's not going to put out a bad Zelda game, typically.
Right.
Especially the mainline stuff. But this good is kind of shocking.
It's clearly a masterpiece, and I'm only 8 hours in, and I really haven't done anything. Like I
wonder how fast people are going to beat it. I mean, if it's free form, speedrunners are going to are going to beat it in like hour. They'll figure out a weird way to be super powerful enough, or just powerful enough that they can actually win.
I'm pretty sure Aonuma said like someone could go at Ganon and beat the game in like 3 hours. Like maybe. Like I don't know how they would do that, but
all right.
I want to see it. I want to see the first person to just speed runs to Ganon, like any percentage, beating him.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exciting. I am so
it's
happy this game exists. I'm happy that we have a classic Zelda again.
Yeah. I mean, it's like having like a top 5 game of, I don't know. Like my game of the year from 2015 was Witcher 3, which is a top 5 game for me, and this one is going to be, and Horizon, both are going to be
up there.
Yeah, taking spots in the top 10 for sure. And this one, it's so good. And the story with the some people are complaining about the story a little bit, I guess, but the voiceover, the exposition in the middle, like I completed this series of things, and then I heard part of the story, which was just rad. It was like a Studio Ghibli like comic or cartoon, basically.
Yeah.
So it's so good.
I've heard that the story it's not like pressed on you that much.
No.
Like it's there. And from the people that I know that played, that I watched their impressions for like 20 hours or so, they didn't spoil any. They were like, no story spoilers. They're like, it's light. It will probably increase, but there's so much other stuff to do that you just kind of come upon the story sometimes.
Yeah, I think that the environmental storytelling is really good, like in maybe almost like a Fallout 4 sort of way.
Yeah.
And it's not so much in terms of like the bodies and things you find, so much as the architecture, like the way the architecture of the world has been subsumed by nature, which is kind of similar to Horizon. It tells you a lot. It's really, really, really good. And it's crazy because after the first hour, you can play as Zelda. And just kidding.
Probably not.
Just kidding. I think I just unlocked the ability to use my amiibo though, so I'm gonna try that tonight.
The wolf?
I don't have the wolf. I never got that.
I've
amiibo.
seen people in videos have the wolf.
I want the
just
wolf.
Trounces things.
It looks really cool. I kind of want it. But I just ordered two. I ordered the Breath of the Wild Link and Breath of the Wild Zelda off of Amazon.
Oh, nice.
They just came available, so But I do want the wolf too. And then the last game was Snipperclips, which I played with my wife, and I got it because I wanted to play with her. And if you haven't seen it, it's basically this, you play as two like almost like rectangles with a round end with feet, and when you overlap and press a button, you snip each other. So you're basically shaping your partner's shape, and you have to fill in outlines or figure out how to solve platforming puzzles, getting like a ball into a hoop or whatever.
Okay.
Every level is really different. It's not the same way to beat the level every time. They change the way that the puzzles work, and it's just you and your partner screaming at each other, cut me here, snip me here, jump over here, and you're just solving puzzles together. And it's really cool to kind of just, I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty good at solving puzzles, and I like to like do it and not show off so much, but like that rush you feel when you solve like a Zelda dungeon or whatever. But it was cool to just like not say anything, because for the first few levels I kind of directed us, and I was just like, nope, you tell us, what are we gonna do? And then she would just tell us what to do, and we'd figure it out. And I think there were like 16 levels, then you beat like the boss level or whatever, and then you unlocked more. So I figured we'd play for 5, and then we got to 5, and I was like, so do you want to stop? She's like, no, let's keep going. And we played for 10 more levels. She was into it. It was really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we'll play that when you're down here too. I'm not gonna get 1-2 Switch, but I did read some stuff about it this weekend where I realized that it's a really good game for people who are blind.
Oh, I can totally understand that.
Yeah, and I didn't even think of that, so I'm glad that exists for that. But I'll have a nice little selection when you come, so it'll be fun. But you'll basically be playing Zelda, I assume.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the games I've been playing this week, along with Orwell. So yeah, there we go.
Very cool. It's been an exciting week.
Oh my god, it's been like, I don't think there'll be a week like this again, and there won't be a 30 days like this ever again, I don't think.
No.
Console launch and 3 amazing games.
Yeah. Mass Effect Andromeda has some pretty high bar to hit now. Like, the Mass Effect series had a high bar to begin with to hit. This has an even higher bar now with the quality of games that have just come out. Breath of the Wild and Horizon. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's not even just like hitting the...
My expectations are high.
Yeah, and it's not just the expectations for a good Mass Effect. It's like these other good games too, like masterpieces.
Yeah. Show me why you should be included in these.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a feeling I won't be getting that game for a while, because I'm gonna beat Breath of the Wild before I get back to Horizon, and that's gonna take me like until April maybe.
Probably. It depends on how much you. Yeah, I don't know how long it takes to beat.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. I guess I haven't even seen much people talking about beating it yet. So.
Well, I've seen from the press and stuff, they said 40 to 50 hours for the main quest.
Yeah, it's the main.
Right, but then they said there's like easily 100 more hours of stuff I didn't do.
Yeah.
And those shrines, I definitely want to do every single one of them, because they are like, it's the first time really in a Zelda game where I've done puzzles in a way that made me feel really happy, because there's no, like, I can just walk in an hour or two and have all the tools ready to go.
Yeah, just try it. Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. And there's a lot of different ways to figure it out. It's really satisfying.
So have you done a dungeon yet?
No.
Okay.
And
so one thing I have heard is that there's no like keys and locked doors.
Right.
Which is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, a Zelda without that conceit is weird. Do you know? Are you aware of how many there are?
No.
Okay.
I have no clue.
I won't tell you. I think that's part of a spoiler. And when you get past the first kind of quote-unquote tutorial area, you figure out how many there are and why there are that many, and it's like a really cool reveal. I thought it was a really cool reveal, because I wasn't expecting it. So I don't know. It's the subtlety of the story is interesting to me. Oh God, it's good.
Okay.
I'm gonna play it as soon as I post this podcast.
That makes sense.
So good.
See about playing some more Horizon.
Yeah, nice. I'll get back to that in April or May. It's good. It's damn good.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Nintendo needed that.
It sure did. The Wii version apparently is it's 720, but there's not much other.
I watched the Digital Foundry comparison. Yeah, they're like, yep. They're like, yeah, it runs at 720. Okay, it looks a little fuzzier. on a 1080 screen than the 900p of the Switch, but they both have frame rate issues.
Right.
And they're like, the Digital Foundry guys were like, we can't figure out a rhyme or reason why frame rate drops at certain times. It makes no sense.
Huh, that's weird.
On either platform.
Right.
They're just like, sometimes it does.
They can't recreate it.
Not exactly. Like, there's some places they can, but they're like, it's not a graphically intensive scene.
Right.
Like, there's not a lot going on. Why is the frame dropping here? So there's something else going on, but the Switch frame drops in different places than the Wii U frame drops. Switch docked. Switch handheld has no frame drops.
And I've played it that way 90% of the time.
Has 0 frame drops.
Yeah. Great.
The highest performance version is handheld.
Handheld Switch. Nice.
Handheld Switch. And they're like, still don't completely understand that either.
Huh. It's magic under that hood.
Yeah, so... But yeah, Wii U seems like it's exactly the same game, minus the resolution. The audio that they talked about, the Digital Foundry's like, they couldn't tell a difference.
Huh. Okay.
They could not tell a difference on the audio between the Wii U and the Switch. So,
well, let me know if you end up getting the disc version, because if I don't hear from you, if I see it, I'll just grab it.
If you see it, grab it.
Yeah.
And
okay.
we'll work it out. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to find it anytime soon.
Okay.
Like, I did a quick search if it's at Target or GameStop or Amazon doesn't have it.
Right.
So I did my big 3 around here. Best Buy, I looked and like no one has it right now. So
okay.
They're all sold out. Like, I'm not shocked that Seattle, it's all sold out everywhere in Seattle. That's not surprising to me.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see if they restock. Like, I also don't think Nintendo's not going to restock it. So,
okay.
But yeah, if you see it, feel free.
Yeah.
We'll work it out how you want to do
it.
it.
Yeah.
So,
cool. Well, thanks for spending time with me tonight. He is at SummerSpeak. I am at Prof Plays Games. And again, the video game book club for March is A King's Tale, Final Fantasy 15. It's free on PlayStation Network, and it's about an hour-and-a-half game. So we'll be able to knock that out and get back to our huge novels of games.
It's so true.
Awesome. All right, man. Thanks so much, Anthony.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Good night, everyone.
Night, folks.